going all the way up. Yeah. I'm gonna turn this bitch all the way up. Hey, Brandon, I'm on the block with that heavy. On the block with that heavy. Watch out for cops that pull up in them Chevys. Whip out the crack, my main trap, her name Betty. These niggas don't want no smoke on my body. Gucci and Louis can't do no Zanati. Bad bitch on me look like she hang with Kylie. I used to fuck with a bitch, hang with Kylie. On the real, I think that bitch live in Cali. My boy shot the pot of the flower that Kylie. Yeah. I could've been a stylist. I remember when the boys used to dollars. I got a girl that trap like she from Dallas. I got so much money, need an accountant. She said
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It's been a long summer, but we're finally back with the Sideline Search podcast. As always, I'm your host, Emil. I'm joined here by my podcast co-host, Samaj. It's been a wonderful summer. I am now moved into my dorm, finally, so we can get back to work on the special podcast we have here for you guys today, our little preseason edition, as everyone gets ready to jump back into the season. We already had our Hall of Fame game the other day where like the Chargers kind of annihilated the Lions, but it's all right. It's just a preseason. College football was kind of crazy last year. We had a crazy draft. Cam Ward going number one, of course. What do you think Miami will be able to do now with just Carson Beck?
Uh,
I'm
like, I know everybody had like they state facts or whatever, but I go mainly based off opinion when it comes to like certain stuff. Carson Beck, honestly, I put it like this: when he was at Georgia, he wasn't like horrible. He wasn't bad or anything like that, but it was like you could tell that he started to like fall off a little bit as far as him being locked in. Like he wasn't making, saying great throws or great decisions all the time. But then it's like now when you see him finally easing back into it, now he's actually able to even move his arm now and everything. You actually see him being a leader. Now it's kind of like it's giving you mixed signals because he could be a great leader, but if you're not playing to the best of your ability, that's gonna like literally change everything. So I feel like with UM, they have a good chance as long as they make sure they don't keep the same exact system as they had with Cam Ward. That's not gonna work because not everybody can play like that. Or even then, each player is different. You feel me? So it's not like you can sit there and have Cam Ward play to the best of his ability. Plus with that great O line, saying you have great receivers. But then now with pretty much all of them gone, you can't try to build that same exact system. You gotta build around Carson Beck. You feel me? You have to make sure you have some decent receivers in there as much as a good tight end as well. Because tight ends are lethal, bro. People sleep on them, but they're actually very crucial to the game. And so honestly, I wouldn't say it's more on him. I would say it's more on the coaching staff instead of Carson Beck. If they really pull through and do what they're supposed to as coaches and everything, UM is literally gonna be right back to where they were last year, but probably even further in the playoffs.
Can we talk about how the Seahawks got like 3 or 4 kings in the draft, or like at least two? I know it was like Elijah Arroyo and a defensive player, I think, or an offensive tackle or something like that. It's a little crazy.
Or didn't UM have the most that was drafted,
I
or I
think
think top three?
so. Ohio State had the most with 14. Georgia and Texas with 13 and 12 respectively. Oregon with 10. Ole Miss 8. Oh, Miami is had 7 players drafted. So like,
Seven.
I mean, it makes sense that Ohio
Arroyo.
State and Georgia had like the highest ones.
Yeah, even though Georgia was forward this year, but
I
we
mean,
can go
they
let
still
that
got
slide.
like okay, they still got kind of far.
Bro, you can't go from literally back to back to that, bro. That was dog water, bro. That was horrible.
Cam Ward, obviously, Tennessee Titans, first round overall. Elijah Arroyo to the Seahawks, second round. Jalen Rivers, who was an offensive lineman, went to the Bengals in the 5th round. Then we had Francisco Mauigua, went to the Jets in the 5th round. He's a linebacker. Tyler Barron also went to the Jets in the 5th round. He's a defensive end. Andy Borregales went to the Patriots in the 6th round. He was a kicker. And then Damian Martinez went to the Seahawks in the 7th round. He's a running back. So, I'm very excited for our offense at the Seahawks this year. Continuing on with the college football stuff, I just want to ask you, Samaj, If you had to pick one team right now that everyone should just watch, they're not that they will win, but just to watch for the season, who would you pick?
It's between two. I'll probably say LSU or South Carolina. Those two are probably like they're great schools, like great programs and everything, but it's quite a few stuff they gotta fix. Nothing's like to really be like up there. But
They definitely struggled last season.
yeah, it's just like when you look at how they struggled though, it's not even like it was really their fault of why they struggled. It was like a good amount of well, I wouldn't say a good amount of people. Some people were injured, and then even with things going on as far as QB situation, you go from all those great QBs, and then it's like now the pressure's on. What I'm saying, like you're starting QB now. That can lead to a lot of problems as far as producing on the offensive side. Defensive side, they weren't bad. They definitely could have did better, but to be honest, literally everybody could have did better. Like literally every single team that was even in the like playoffs and outside of playoffs.
Yeah.
But LSU, honestly, they probably have a lot of recruits that came in and chose them over like other top programs. So I feel like if they get that going and they build a lot of chemistry as far as the team and they make sure, playbooks are solid, they could honestly be a huge problem for a lot of people. And then even with South Carolina has always been like a great school, and then even for them to beat top programs and then they not even have, like too much big names on their team, that says everything right there. Like they have all the heart that they really need for real. So it's you build that
They
up
have like
more,
the
it's
number
like,
one defensive line class this year, right? As well.
yeah, bro, they're a great school. So honestly, between those two, is hard to tell. But there's definitely a lot of other schools that are probably sleepers for
Why
this
South
upcoming season.
Carolina? Is there like some specific thing about them or just in general? You think they'll do good?
I put it like this. You got the Big Ten, you got Pac-12, ACC, SEC, and all that. When you look at South Carolina and them in the SEC, that's not easy competition already. So the fact that they're going against those type of schools and yet they're not even getting blown out, that says
Yeah.
everything right there. Because it's like we already know SEC is different. You feel me? And even though there's other schools outside of SEC that are still, insanely good, it's just that SEC all around the competition is crazy. Because even if all the schools aren't like really good at the moment, the competition is still pretty high, and that always causes games to be close or something, saying close to that. And so it's like what South Carolina, for them to be able to be so good on defense, as soon as they get offense side going, they will pretty much be straight from there. Because it's not like they have to struggle a lot on defense for them to really stay, to par with other teams. But if you have a good QB situation as far as him having a good relationship with his offense, then it doesn't even matter if you have like a top 100 wide receiver on the team. It doesn't even matter about that. You feel me? Because even though he may not be as high ranked or as known as other receivers that may be in college, he still may be working on the side and we don't even know. And then he comes out have a breakout season. You feel me? And then now that could even take them all the way. So it's like that's just with one receiver. So now imagine all the receivers. Now imagine your running backs are doing well. Now imagine you're being a great leader to your O line and your O line is actually blocking for you. That literally like it changes the whole game plan. It changes everything for it. So it's like for South Carolina to be that like not even that far behind from like top defense teams. You get a good offense
Yeah.
going, and it's literally gonna be good from there.
Me personally, honestly, this is probably like super like probably what everyone is saying, but I'm very excited to see Archie Manning play for Texas because they're probably starting him this year, right?
Yeah, he's starting.
Like I've heard a lot of things about him, and obviously he's a Manning, so he has like name recognition. But I am genuinely excited to see if like he is actually good or if it's just name recognition, you know? I almost feel bad for him because I assume there must be so much pressure on him because of the name. But I'm excited
Yeah.
to see what he does.
it's like, yeah, you could put it that way as far as the name, but that's honestly something quite a few, college players go through. They've had, their parents that was great in college and great in the league, so it's like that's normal to them. He already had pressure on him since he was in high school. Because it's like,
Yeah,
bro, if you get noticed in high school, you feel me? If you don't get noticed in high school, then it's like that's not even really on your name. That's just on you. And
yeah,
then
that's
like
true.
that's like it's just really just on you. So for him, it's like the buzz is already around because of his name. And then we already seen things that he could do coming off the bench, and actually helping close out some games. So it's like now that you fully give him, the whole offensive side, he's able to actually develop and be a good leader from there. I mean, it's not much he truly has to work on as far as just being a good asset to the team. But it's definitely some things he has to work on as far as him stepping up to the plate and being a leader. That's the main thing, because he's coming off the bench. That's normal. You're not gonna come off the bench as being like the best leader ever, or you're just the best leader on the team. You got to learn that
Yeah,
and then even earn that as well. Because you could be trying your hardest and then your teammates may not even be responding to you or things like that. So for him, I wouldn't say it's more of a name thing. It's just like he has to make sure he's focusing on himself first and then focusing on the team, what I'm saying, right after that. Because you could be focusing on the team and then you're going to mess up, right away. So, I mean, I wouldn't be too worried about Archie for real. He really, bro, he has so much good stuff going for him.
yeah.
We've never even seen a Manning run like that. That
So
says
much
everything right there.
potential. Yeah,
Yeah, like he has so much potential, bro. Like honestly, wouldn't even be worried about him for real.
yeah. I'm excited to see what he does. I mean, I'm excited for the season in general. We always get such like good surprises from college football because they're so young and so dynamic. I mean, we're only like what, like a month away. The first game's like August 31st, I think. Obviously, since we are a Miami-based podcast, we have to talk about UM. Uh, our schedule is looking as great as it ever has. We get Notre Dame literally as our first game. I'm so excited. I get UF play at home, so I'm gonna get all my U. I hope all my UF friends come down and see me so that they can lose. Besides that, I mean, our schedule is as normal as usual. We do have a Pittsburgh game this year to finish off the season. That'll be fun. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the season holds for us. I want to just like say where the top five picks went and say how well we think they'll do in the NFL. Because we had some interesting top five picks, right? We had Cam Ward, number one, at the Titans. Travis Hunter, number two, of course, to the Jaguars. He's in Duval. We had Abdul Carter to the Giants. Will Campbell to the Patriots. And Mason Graham, Cleveland. So, out of those five teams, which team do you think got the best top five pick? Me personally, of course, I'm gonna go with Cam Ward. You already know. I
That
think the Titans picking Cam Ward after the season they had is such a funny thing to happen.
I don't know. It's okay. I'll put it like this. If you go with Cam Ward, that's a great pick off the rip, bro. Especially for that you're already a team, you're already a franchise that like absolutely needs a QB, right? And then you're gonna add, your pieces there. You're gonna add, your receivers and things like that, or even pick up some O line. That would definitely be able to completely change everything. But I feel like even with, you know, a top five pick, that doesn't change a whole lot. You feel me? Like it's
Yeah.
even if you draft the best player out of that whole class, it's like, bro, you could do that and then not even add anybody to the team, and you still be horrible. Like, you feel me? So with Cam Ward, I definitely feel like that was for sure top two best picks, 100%. Like Titans needed a QB, and the fact that they added some pieces after him, bro, that's gonna change everything. You feel like that's literally gonna change everything. And as
They
long as
also
his O
got a good
line is
wide.
able to
They
give him
got
that time,
Xavier Restrepo for him as well.
exactly. So it's like, bro, as long as they make that O line, make sure they got time, bro, it's set from there. It's literally gonna be like how they was at UM. He's still gonna have time in the pocket. His receiver's still gonna try to get open, and then it's gonna be ball game from there. Now with the other picks, honestly, I feel like for the Giants, I don't know. I really don't know. Cause it's like, bro, they've always had, great players, but as a franchise, they've treated them like it's just
Yeah, I mean Saquon
they're
Barkley.
like, yeah,
Saquon
they're like
Barkley's
there's
a
just no
prime
respect
example.
there, bro. There's just no respect there. So it's like, yeah, they may be able to produce, for the team and games and all that, but it's 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 gonna be like a huge mental, warfare with you and the coaching staff. Like I shouldn't have to get drafted and not worried about like, oh, am I going to get traded soon or something like that, or am I going to get, like treated horribly by the staff and all that. So I feel like for the Giants, it's going to be more of an off-field thing instead of an on-field thing. They definitely have some great pieces to help them produce 100%. You already have Malik Neighbors from last year,
Yeah.
and then you have like, Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is everybody, doesn't really like him, which is honestly kind of sad because he's not even, bad. Like he's literally just chilling, bro. Like he's just a good QB, and and then you go pick up Abdul Carter. That is like, bro, defense now, bro. You're literally going to be set. As long as you
Yeah.
build around Abdul Carter, bro, you would be perfectly set. Now
The,
with the other
the
picks,
Giants
Travis
definitely need like
Hunter,
a rebuild in general.
yeah, yeah, one hundred
So
percent,
this
one
could be the
hundred
start
percent.
of it, honestly. After the chaos that happened with Saquon Barkley like being good at the Eagles, this is definitely like the pick me up that they need.
Is literally a huge wake up call for them. Like they don't have a choice but to wake up because
Yeah.
bro, if they don't here, I guarantee a lot of people will literally get drafted and request trades as like immediately, bro. Like 100%. With the other teams, I don't really see any other
Patriots
team.
having a left tackle in Will Campbell, I think was a very great pick after the
No,
problem they had with pass protection last year. I think that
yeah,
was a great pick.
it definitely it's my thing is that with the pass protection, a good amount of time that's going to be a problem because lately we've been having a lot of you know great defensive players coming to the league. So I feel like that's definitely a rising problem for offense. But for what I've noticed in the past few seasons from the Patriots is even though with their pass protection, not being the best, they've had multiple opportunities to take great players and completely turn around the franchise, and yet they never do it. That's what the main problem is. So it's like, yeah, you have Will, but are you actually going to use him to his best
Yeah,
ability?
to actually
You
protect. Yeah.
Yeah, to actually protect, because we already know how the NFL is, man. Like you can literally have the best O line, and then something is going to be
Something
something
will
that goes
happen.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like with them, now that you have a powerhouse, bro, you need to make
It's
sure
what they
that you
needed.
feel, yeah, like they literally have to make sure they use him. They have to, even if he's a rookie, you literally have to use Will 100%. Now on the other side of the O line, they're gonna have to work on that. That's horrible. They're gonna have to work
And
on
now,
that.
I mean, they also have Stephon Diggs now as a target for Drake May. Like
Exactly.
that's an
So it's like,
improvement
bro,
as well.
you have to get somebody to block, bro. Now that you have Drake May already, a
Yeah.
pretty good quarterback out of college, and then now you gave him a target, bro. If you don't give him time, then that is not going to be good for you. It's not going to be good at all. You're nearly not going to get no points on the board and have to try to rely on field goals all the time. So it's like you have to build around that. And then even with the two other teams, even with Jacksonville, honestly, Travis Hunter was definitely the best pick for them
I
because
mean, it was the
how
next best pick just overall.
yeah, it was the next best pick, but
There's
I
nothing really
see it
else we could
as
do.
I see it as no matter where Travis went, the team was always going to try to put more pieces around him just because he's that good of a player. And even outside of being a player, he's good spirits. I feel that's what it is because immediately, bro, as soon as he got drafted, you see everybody on the Jags. everybody's, their energy is
Yeah.
is is great. It's just there. So I feel like that's definitely the best addition that they could have had because now, you don't have to worry too much about, Trevor Lawrence, having so much of a toll on him.
I mean,
He's able to actually rely on his people now.
I feel like if the Jaguars, at least on the offensive side, if they don't do well this year, I think that's it for Trevor Lawrence, honestly. This is kind of like his last chance, in my opinion, because he's been disappointing. Like he's been mid for a player who is expected to be a lot better, for a player who they've built the Jaguars kind of around. Like this is kind of the last year for him to prove like that he can actually like win. And if not, then they're just gonna start building around Travis Hunter and push Trevor Lawrence aside, I think.
Exactly, and I mean, it even though it's rough, it's a business, So
Mhm.
even if Trevor Lawrence is out of there, they're still going to use Travis, to something greater. Because even if it's like you don't have a QB, you're gonna want to have people play for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna have more people that's gonna be probably trying to request a trade and come down there just because of what they're building. And then even in upcoming drafts, you still have great people that's coming in and out of college, coming in and out of the league. So at that point, with him being in the league for this many years already, I feel like either this season or the season after. Because I feel like right now they're probably trying to give him a chance for that
Mhm.
because like they're kind of rebuilding. But I feel like if this season goes pretty decent and then next season goes horrible, that's where they're definitely gonna like just try to get rid of him, like just get him
Yeah.
out of there. I feel that's probably what's gonna happen because I mean, like you can't try to give him, somebody or just give him great players on the team, and have so much stuff going on, and then automatically expect him to just click with it, just be able to just go out there and play
Yeah.
how he was in college. You can't just expect that, you know. So if he's able to actually produce pretty well throughout this season, they're definitely going to try to look more, into other people coming into the franchise and actually changing around and things like that.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's what, 26, Trevor Lawrence? So like if he at least does decently this year, he still has like until his 30s as long as he keeps producing until like they start thinking about okay, let's start bringing in like a new quarterback to start at least training under him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And it's smart, because we see other teams doing that right now. Same thing with the Dolphins. Dolphins,
Mhm.
you have your Tua situation going on, but then you see how they brought in Quinn Ewers, and then you
Yeah.
even have Zach Wilson. That's smart
It's
because
the same in the
something
Seahawks.
either is
We brought Jalen Milrow, but we have a veteran quarterback to play for us in the meantime.
exactly, and it's super smart. Teams try to
Sam
draft a
Darnold.
QB and have them start immediately and have them just try to change around the franchise so quickly. And we've only seen one rookie quarterback do that flawlessly. That's Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels. Not everybody can do that, and I'm not saying they're not skilled enough to do it. It's just that's not an easy task at all. You can't have a rookie quarterback just come in and be able to completely change around everything. Like you can't do a whole 180 and just have that happen automatically for everybody. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So for the fact that him being in the league so long already, as long as they bring somebody in under Trevor Lawrence, it would be straight from there. Because it's smart. Like you can't go wrong with that. You literally cannot go wrong with that because you already have your QB that's making sure he's always reading the playbook, staying in shape, making sure that he's taking lessons and preparing to be a leader because he's up next. You know,
Yeah.
as it's super smart.
And then for the fifth pick for Mason Graham, I don't think there's much to say. It's just a defensive tackle to Cleveland. I think Cleveland has a lot of problems. I don't think it's going to be fixed by one defensive tackle, honestly.
It, I mean, well, yeah and no because I see it as in like, even though you still have some things that may need to be fixed, it's definitely a great starting point. Because they're especially because the fact that Cleveland already has some good weapons there for you to
Yeah.
add. Shador into there, and then you even have
Oh, that's right. They did draft Shador. I literally
yeah,
forgot
you
about that.
already have Shador in there. It's I mean, as far as the offensive side, you can't really worry about it. But defensive side, I feel like with them having a great leader, Miles Garrett, with them
Yeah,
being able to have him, that's definitely going to be able to at least pick up the pace a little bit. Because now, and him, and inside of him, he's probably like, oh, okay, now we really got a chance, and that
yeah,
may be able to help him pick it up even more. And so, even though they only got really one great top pick, on the defensive side.
yeah.
A lot of teams could really change though, because one player could make a difference. But if, bro, if you're
I
really
really
not
don't think
playing
that
your
like
part,
I really don't think that
just
like the defensive side was the way to go. Like I feel like they need offensive here. Like I get the Shador pick for QB because you have a shit QB situation. But like in general, like the QB position was not the only place they were struggling in. I think defensively the Browns were fine. So while I think that Mason Graham is a good pick, I don't know why the Browns decided to pick a defensive player so high when they're struggling so much offensively. Is kind of my concern.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But you also got to think though, somebody like him, that's on the board. It's not easy for you to just try to pass up somebody that's so high in the draft knowing that somebody right after you could probably take him. You feel me? Because it's like that
Yeah.
same thing with Shador. We already knew if Shador was getting picked top three, then he was pretty much going to get picked way later on, even though he really shouldn't. That shouldn't have been the case. But it's like when you're a GM and you notice things going on as far as media and all that, you see how the media around Shador is not something that you will really want because then everybody thinks, is he going to be a buzz? Is he going to be drafted super late? Something like that. And then with people
Yeah.
already, thinking he's going to get drafted late, or people already, not thinking much of him, that's their opportunity to go pick up somebody on the defensive side and have that set, and then you go pick up
Hmm.
more weapons on your offensive side. You feel me? Because Shador's not even on the QB they drafted, you know. So it's like it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense for them to do that and then have their QB later on because no matter what, you already have four QBs that's really playing for that spot. So now all your job is pretty much just seeing who's going to take that starting job. And then if you don't get that starting job, you either run the bench or you're out of here, you know? So it
Yeah.
makes sense. So I mean, I can't like hate on them too much for that, but it definitely makes sense as to what they did because bro, you can't argue with how the offensive looks now. You got Krishan Jenkins at running back, and then he's definitely going to be um dominant for sure. And then you already have some weapons there already. You got tight end, you got Njoku, and then even with you having a great leader in Joe Flacco, even though he may not be the best QB, you still got to give it to him as a leader. Because for the fact that you have everybody hating on you so much, and yet you're still trying to be just there for your
Yeah.
team, that's what you want. Because now you have two younger QBs coming in, and now they're feeding off of that. So with how everything went in the draft, people are definitely going to be confused. Like Shador shouldn't have went that low, which he definitely shouldn't. But to them,
I think it
that's
was
actually a very
fine.
good strategy on how it was.
I don't think it was that crazy. Because there was definitely a lot of
Nah,
question. Like the way they handled the days leading up to the draft created doubt around him, I think. Like
yeah,
he was still gonna get drafted. It just like people were kind of doubtful as to what was going on, and people kind of didn't want to deal with Dion as much. And also like the QB draft class wasn't there wasn't as high of a supply this year in terms of like quality, and at the same time there wasn't a high as of a demand as usual.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, it's not a bad thing that he got drafted late, but it's just you
I think
don't
it
want
almost
that to
lowers
happen.
expectations for him.
It,
Like it
it
makes it takes off some pressure.
yeah, it takes off pressure, but at the same time, you still don't want it to be too bad. You feel me? Because it's like you get
Yeah.
drafted high, okay, now I have super high expectations, and I have so much going for myself. And then you get drafted low. Now it's like, oh dang, like I got drafted low. Like am I gonna be a bust now? Like am I not gonna be as
Yeah.
good as people really think? So it's like you can't really risk that, because bro, once you risk that, it's over. Because as soon as he like has those bad games or whatever, everybody's gonna start, like going at his back, going at his head, and things like that, and then that's only gonna create problems within the team. You don't want that.
Yeah.
So like for him to get drafted late, that's not even that much of a problem. But I feel like he should have went a little bit earlier. If like he doesn't have to be drafted first, second round, that's normal. We've seen great QBs get drafted late, but I feel like he definitely should have got drafted around the third or fourth round mark, just to at least have a even standpoint.
Just to end off today's shorter podcast, I think we should talk about the biggest moves of the offseason. I mean, we had stuff like Devontae Adams, he went to the Rams. Seahawks lost like all of our good people. Like DK Metcalf went to the Steelers. Tyler Lockett went to the I don't even know. I think he went to the Titans with Cam Ward. Like Geno Smith went to the Raiders. Like we basically lost everyone. The Seahawks is like a completely new team now. Ashton Genty got drafted by the Raiders. The Raiders are looking a little bit better each season. It's a slow burn. Laramie Tunsil is off to the Commanders, which I think is huge for them, especially since Jaden Daniels definitely needs more protection as well. Yeah, I mean Sam Darnold now. We have a good quarterback at the Seahawks. George Pickens went to the Cowboys, which is going to be a crazy lineup at the Cowboys, although I still think they're going to lose, obviously. I don't know, what else? Is there anything that you saw as like a big trade signing or other draft that's not top five?
Honestly, as far as trades, I feel like there wasn't, too many crazy trades. Um, Lately, it was definitely, insane how it started out, but I feel like it kind of like slowed down a lot since then. And I mean, when you look at the trades, they honestly make sense because it's like it's like they're franchises that they may not have been the best already. So it's like I kind of feel where DK Metcalf is coming from, and things like that. But then when you look at trades like the Steelers and you trading away George Pickens, I feel like that automatically sets you up for failure
The
because it's
Steelers
like
trade is so
you
weird.
could have been you literally could have had the same thing Dallas had, right? You literally could have had Metcalf and Pickens. You could have had two great options and now open up the field for so many things. But now it's like you passing up the opportunity. You're only setting yourself up because now you only have DK Metcalf with that huge target on his back, and you don't want that, right?
And like at the
But
same time
then
you're
look at
grabbing Aaron Rodgers, like you're letting go Russell Wilson and just trading that for Aaron Rodgers, and then giving
exactly
Justin Fields to like where did Justin Fields go?
Jets.
Jets? Like what is this? It was a little
It,
random.
it honestly it really makes no sense. So for trades like that, it's like, come on, bro. Like you know you shouldn't have really done that. But then we
The
look at trades
Steelers
like
are
the
doing a lot.
Raiders. I mean,
Like
I
they
can't.
they even traded for like Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, it's just like, bro, come on
Like they're
now.
doing a little too much. And then but
It
like the
like I
Raiders are actually like receiving a lot.
exactly. So it's. I mean, I can't touch base too much on the Raiders because like they've been a program that's been trying to rebuild for so long.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like I can't even. I got sympathy for them. Like it's that bad to the point where they really have to like they have to pick up the pace, bro. So for them to go get Geno Smith, even though people don't really think he's a good QB, honestly think he's a great QB. Honestly,
He's
great leader as
decent.
well. But people people don't watch him. People only see stats, and that's the main problem. Because when he was at
Yeah.
the Seahawks, bro, he was playing great. Yeah, he did go off on his all line for not blocking, but that's their job.
As he
I
should,
mean,
yeah.
like you can't get mad at him for that. So for Raiders to pick up Geno Smith, that's pretty good. It's just a team. And then you drafted Ashton Jennings, bro. As long as you
Like
build
that's an
around
elite
Ashton
team.
Jennings, and then you build around Brock Bowers, bro, you would be literally insane, bro. Like there's nothing that you can do to mess up any of that. If you literally somehow mess that up, then that's not even on the player. Like you can't blame any of that on the players, bro. That's on you
Yeah.
as a franchise. and now everybody's gonna think of you as a joke. That's definitely not something that you want to happen, because now you're gonna have players trying to request trades from you all this like every single time. You don't want that.
Last thing I do want to talk about, as we both know, Joey Bosa got signed by the Buffalo Bills. So I think the one question on our minds is, will the Bills finally be able to stop Patrick Mahomes when they eventually meet in the playoffs again? My answer remains the same. No. The Bills are always going to get stopped by the Chiefs.
As much as I rock with Josh Allen, bro, it's difficult, bro. It's so difficult because I've been rooting for this man for years, bro. So
It's just
for
the
him to
same thing every day.
like, yeah, bro, it's like for him to just constantly go in and get whooped. It's like, bruh, come on now. Like you can't tell me it's not something else deeper than that, bro. Especially if you look at both rosters every year that they matched up. Like, come on, you can't sit
Yeah.
there and tell me that like it's not something deeper than them just playing, bro. It has to be something else besides that. Especially with them having who they had on defense in recent years. Come on, bro. Like you,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no way that they just somehow come up short to the Chiefs every single time, bro. There's no way. It has to be something else below that, below
Yeah, it's a
surface.
little insane.
Cause come on, bro. You literally had bro. They had great people. Jordan Poyer, Von Miller. You had bro. You had great people on defense, bro. Great people on defense,
Yeah.
and somehow it's always something, bro. Even with them losing Tyreek Hill that year, when he
It's
literally
rigged,
saved them
dude.
that
Like,
year.
there's no way.
Yeah,
There's no
like come
way.
on,
Like,
bro.
it's rigged. It's like so bad that you have to just say it's rigged.
Man, I feel bad for Josh Allen. I I feel bad,
Well, guys, that's been the sideline search. A little bit of a shorter episode. I hope when I edit this, it'll be a shorter episode. Um, if you do notice, I will be putting some B-roll into this episode to make it a little bit more uh fun instead of just staring at our faces the whole time. And I will also be putting background music. So if you recognize what background music I put, um, just comment down below. Okay, anyways, that's all for me. I am Emil. This is my host, Samaj, and it's been an honor. It's been an honor. Go Canes, go Seahawks, and have a great rest of the day. I don't know when I'm posting this, but whatever day it is, have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.